Today's episode of the Ross Cloud podcast is sponsored in part by GospelStationCharts.com, where you can view gospel radio station song charts and track the promotion of your song, such as view how many stations are playing your song and how often, including what day and time your song played. Check it out now. Visit GospelStationCharts.com.
Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Ross, and this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud podcast. If you would, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. Listen, we have a very special guest with us here on today. We have the one and only Mr. Ronald Thorton. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Chris. Glad to be here.
Right on, man. Thank you for coming, man.
It's just wonderful to be here with you.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And
yes,
Brother
sir.
Jamal.
I know, right?
You know, this feel good. This feel good.
Yes, sir. Right on.
Yeah.
What's up, Jamal?
How you doing?
Man. Only like Jamal can do.
Yeah.
Only like Jamal can do. How you doing?
How you doing?
Taking us back to Reedsville, wasn't you, Jamal?
Yes, sir.
I love it. I love it. Ron, for most of you that are very familiar with Ronald Thornton is a local musician here. I'm not going to say local. Let's say national musician.
Oh,
We're going to decree and declare that. National, worldwide musician that's here on today. And I'm super excited about it. And you know, before we were talking a little bit, you said drums was your forte. That's your thing.
that's the principle.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
I got you. Do you play keys too, Ron, a little bit? Or
Not
Not really, huh?
enough to probably work out to hear parts,
oh, I understand.
vocal part.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
I would never. I would never.
You ain't touching them, Ron.
No,
I
no,
got you.
absolutely not.
Would you
Won't
consider
care,
yourself?
sir.
What you say?
He won't care. Service.
No, I'm not gonna carry no service.
Okay, then. Got you. Got
Me
you.
neither that.
I understand. So let me ask you this, Ron. Would you consider yourself to be a in the pocket drum player, or you're one that's kind of versatile too?
Now, at the age I'm
Yeah.
at now,
Yeah.
I'm 40 something,
Okay, then.
late 40s.
Late 40s. Right.
I stay more in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of my peers, we grew up together. I can call some names like
Sure.
Rashad Jenkins.
Oh yeah, a beast.
Come on,
A beast. Yes, sir.
Calvin Napper.
A beast. Another one. Yes, sir.
Many others.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not excluding. I'm saying that because we all
Mhm.
close in age, and we
Mhm.
were playing for community choirs
Understand
when
that.
we were kids.
You sure were. Yes, sir.
So, you know, we basically just, from conversation, listen to some of the same ones.
Mhm.
You know, drummers like Joel Smith,
Oh man.
Walter and Edwin's
Yes, sir.
nephew.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And, you know, Joel also played bass as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
Joel was my heavenly influence. That was
Wow.
the drummer. The concept of recording,
Mm.
that's playing drums.
Yeah.
You have to find that pocket,
That's right.
create that foundation,
Yeah.
and also have it so your phrasing
That's
is solid.
it's solid. Yeah.
So, yes, to
okay.
answer your question, I'm a pocket drummer.
Well, you know, I feel like a lot of pocket drummers that play in the pocket like that, they're actually like sought after, man.
Oh yeah,
Because if you let them get loose, they can get loose too.
right.
But they also, I think it takes a great deal of discipline too to be a pocket type playing drummer.
You're exactly right, Chris. And you know what? And I had to learn that when I was younger. I think I did more experimenting.
That's-
So when I got the slaps on my wrist,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
hey, you doing too much.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting the calls.
Okay.
You know, you this field doesn't,
Mhm.
I went to, I think it was 1996. I was fortunate to go to the Edwin Hawkins Music and Arts Seminar.
Oh yeah.
And I went into one of the day classes where Kevin Bond, producer, he was the instructor.
Yeah. Let me say this for the folks who don't know who that is. For those who may not be familiar with him, can you tell the folks who that is, Ron?
Oh yeah, Kevin Bond is the gospel
yes, sir.
top tier music producer.
Yes, he is.
Of gospel music from Edwin Hawkins, Kirk Franklin.
Yeah. You go on and on.
There's a big list.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But I was able in 1996 down in Tampa, Florida, when the seminar was down in Tampa, Florida, I was able to experience, the class.
Yeah.
And one thing he said that stuck with me as a musician, I was a young musician. Matter of fact, David Blakely, who is an organist, who's a great friend of mine today, got me in that class because I left my badge up in the up in the room. So he got me in, and I still say that was divine because of what Kevin Bond said.
Sure.
That particular day. When you're a musician, especially when you're in the younger stage, you're experimenting.
Yeah.
When you get around guys that have done it, you should be able to let them tear you down so they can build you back up. So that's what that's what happened with me. I was doing a lot of experimenting. I'm talking about all the stuff that I hear I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But when I got my hand slapped, or got my feelings hurt, or whatever, this, that, and other, I didn't wear the emotion on my sleeve. I took the sting. And I build from there.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think a lot of people call that having some skin in the game. You got some skin in the game now, Thornton.
Tanya,
that's right.
That's it.
Drums, keyboards, whatever.
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
Yeah, amazing. That's all I'm gonna say.
She's bad.
Yeah, she is, and that's my sister, and I'm still amazed at what she's been able to accomplish by being a self-taught. You know, and she was under the tutelage of Dave too.
Yes.
A lot of our great musicians was under his tutelage, as well as George Paz too.
Might as well say me too.
Yeah, you too, Thornton. That's right. That's right.
Hey,
that's right. It was a long line of.
It's a long line.
It's a long list of drummers and musicians that people were looking up to. And what was that? The early 90s, you say?
Early 90s. Now I'm gonna tell you, within the last probably 5 years, I was able to touch David more. All of you all did because y'all lived in Winston.
We live in Winston, yes, sir.
And so within the last 5 years or more, I was able to listen to what David say, and he did a lot of pouring in.
Yeah. Listen, man, I did my first actual gospel concert. David actually did my first gospel concert at Ambassadors. That was many years ago. I think I was young. I probably had 1 foot in the church and 1 out. But hey, man, I'm gonna tell you, God met us there though. God met us there, and David. I think I rehearsed with Dave probably. It wasn't much because I was used to his teaching. I was used to being up under his tutelage. So it wasn't much he really had to do other than say, hey, Ross, Chris, you can slow it down here. You can do this right here. Oh, man, this is going to be great. You good. It was just that, maybe 30 minutes, an hour we did. And then we went through the concert. And I remember David being very skillful, teaching us breathing techniques. And boy, when he came to choir rehearsal, he didn't play no games, fam.
No,
but okay, we here to talk about you, but it's hard not to because of the impact that he's had.
Right,
the impact that Dave has had, just in this area alone, and not just this area. You got to think about all the people he touched as it pertains to gospel music and what he's taught, you know, and still doing stuff today.
Still doing it.
I think he has, what is it, the hymns?
Hymns for him.
Hymns for him. You know, so even Dave's skill set, you know, when you think about, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You got hymns for him. That long lineage,
man,
of the gospel music workshop.
Yes, man.
And you know, we're getting into
we get it all because man, we could go all day long.
Exactly.
You know, because all of us have been a benefactor of being up under that tutelage and learning from him. You know, I even look at today with my stage presence so far as theater, all of that stuff was a huge attribute of what I do today. Right. You know, the exposure of being on large stages. Mm-hmm. You know, if we hadn't worked with Dave, we probably wouldn't have been on some of those large stages outside of what our parents introduced us to.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then that exposure from Dave, from going to Bobby Jones at a young age and singing in the Symphony to God in song and meeting all of the gospel artists. You give credit what credit is due.
Come right there. Thomas Whitfield and Ambassadors.
Oh my God. You remember them days too, Thornton?
Look, I was a kid, but I heard the stories.
Oh,
of course, my cousin George passed. You know, Willie would tell.
Yes, man. Listen, we
Coley.
Man, listen, man. I remember growing up. I'm 52, so I remember like it was yesterday. I remember seeing George on the piano doing the Symphony to God in songs. And the thing that I used to love when we were kids at Ambassadors, man, looked like we're going down, reminiscing a little bit, going down memory lane. And I remember being a teenager, but I remember every teenager at Ambassadors, we transitioned right into being on the adult choir because we had been taught so well to breathe. Our voices were so strong at such a young age because we were being taught how to breathe, how to stagger breathe,
right?
Pushing through the hoarseness, how to sing over the hoarseness,
right?
Getting up singing even when you're hoarse,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Drinking lukewarm water, just the breathing techniques that we would use. And I remember we would have those classes. Dave would tell us, breathe here. We would do those. Oh man, like I say, man, we could go on. We could go on and on and on about the impact that he's had, in gospel music and just in the arts. Period, man.
Right.
You know, that's just keep it 100. That's why I said, you know, from learning stage presence, for being disciplined as a choir member, the discipline that it takes,
and his musicianship,
and then the musicianship. It's so much, Ron. Ron is so much. So look here, Ron.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. We could do this all day long. That's why when we were talking earlier about George, I think it's important that we give folks like that their flowers.
You got to,
man. You got to give them their flowers, and we don't hear it enough. But you give credit what credit is due. As a teenager, I would have never ever imagined that I was like that close to Derek Cole where I could touch him on the shoulder,
right?
Where he'd be teaching us songs to sing. Man,
Jeffrey Levi.
Yes, man. Like we could go on. Like it's so many people that I can think of. What was the guy that was I was a part of the Ohio Players, but he sings gospel. Oh man,
I know who
I got him right here. He's from California. I got him right here on the top of my head. DJ Rogers.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you, man. Listen, that dude right there.
Yes, sir.
I remember when DJ Rogers came to Ambassadors and he taught us. I forgot what he taught us. But dude, he had, at that time, Ambassadors, I think it's probably still the same way. Dave and where the music department would take all of the top part off of the stage. So you had a stage, literally a stage right there. You remember?
Right.
Because George would set up there, Dave would play right there, or Dave would be on the Hammond organ, which that's its. Whew. So, and I remember DJ Rogers sitting in the middle of that, just teaching us. Choir rehearsal was crazy. Man, we was having church in choir rehearsal.
That's where it's supposed to be.
I'm just saying
Yes.
it.
Yes.
It was authentic in choir rehearsal. So guess what? When you got ready to present, you was already there.
You was already.
You was up here.
Exactly.
The oil was already saturated once you hit that, and then not even talking about prayer services that we had to go to. We had to do lock-ins. We had to fast.
Right.
We had to pray. You know, it was just part of the essence of music ministry, gospel music ministry. When you're ministering before the Lord, I get goosebumps talking about it because I did it for so long.
Man,
it is exciting to talk about it.
Exactly.
Dude, I've been at home sometimes, Ron, and I've been watching Ricky Dillard and Hezekiah Walker, and I'm trying to really hold back tears because the passion, the level of passion that we had, even when singing with Willie Mason and friends.
Oh my God.
The great deal of passion that goes into that type. I don't think people understand. First of all, you have a passion for Christ, but not only that, you have a passion for the music too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And the people you're around, the people that you're around, especially if you grew up singing together, like we were talking about.
Right.
It's I can't explain to you. From the robes to just everything about it, bro, was just absolutely amazing.
Chris,
and those are things you'll never forget too, Ron.
What you're saying is when you say hold back tears.
Yeah.
So now I find myself if I'm on drums with Willie.
Yeah.
Or I'm playing with George.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get to me, and I have to really, because I'm a drummer, and I don't need tears to be coming down. Eyes getting all watery.
Drummers so cool. Drummers are so cool, you know.
So I know exactly what you're saying. And it comes from the years when you grow up, when you have grown up in an environment like we have.
Yeah, man.
I don't care what you do in life.
I don't care
what you venture off to.
You got to come back home.
You got to come back home, and there's still something on the inside.
Listen, bro, I went to here recently. God rest in peace to Mark Ray. You know, Mark Ray lost his mother, so rest in peace to Mark, which was another great drummer, Mark Ray. I went here recently, and I hadn't seen Bethany Heath in forever. So listen, I hadn't seen her in a long time since the National Black Theater Festival. So Ron, she sung doing the wake, doing the funeral. And man, I'm gonna tell you, bro. First of all, I thought as I was watching her sing, I thought about Bishop Elder Heath and Bishop John Heath, and who was somebody that impacted my life great deal. He actually, man, God came, and I could talk about that another day, but God used him to kind of, between him and my mom, to save me from probably a life of prison, a life of jail, trying to be in the streets. And, I'll never forget, him and my mom came down to Charlotte. It's me. Gangster style, gangster Christian style. You hear me, Ron? But what I'm saying is, Bethany, when I saw her sing, all I thought about was her father and the anointing that rested on his life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about, as she was singing, dude, I kid you not, man, I almost screamed in there.
I know you did.
That girl anointed. So I mean, like, there's certain singers, certain singers that, and Jamal says it a lot. They got that oil on them.
Got that oil. And she got it honest.
It was passed down, bro. You hear me?
Honest.
It was passed down. I don't care where she's singing. It's the same every single time, just like her father was. She's taking that mantle and she's running with it. And I love it.
That delivery it's the delivery.
Yeah, man.
Her delivery.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's consistent.
I don't care where she is. It's the same. And then she got that personality just like her. It's the same.
It's infectious. Man,
every time you see her, you can't do nothing but smile and laugh. And yeah, man. So to what you're saying, you never get away from it.
You never get away from it.
Yeah.
And I've had the honor of accompanying her, playing drums. I think
beautiful spirit, beautiful soul too.
Plenty of time with she's been a special guest at Willie Mason and Friends anniversary.
Yeah.
But we had a more intimate setting. We did a Christmas concert. So I was on drums.
Yeah.
George Pass on piano.
Oh no.
Bishop Steve Williams.
Another one. Yeah.
Another beastly vocalist, male.
And been that way for years.
And Bethany
Mount Calvary days, he was like that.
Wow.
I'm gonna go way back. Maybe not Mount Calvary. What was the church that Bishop Freddie Marshall had over there on Christ Cathedral?
On Christ Cathedral.
Those days. Well, I'm thinking of back when he was under the tutelage of Bishop Marshall.
Right.
I'm going way back there, but maybe you can go even further.
He was the pastor of music.
That's right, he was.
He was the pastor of music back then.
That's right.
I remember that.
You remember that?
I remember that.
I remember when I first heard Steve. I think it was over at Bishop Williams. With all due respect, Bishop Williams, over at Christ Cathedral, I think it was.
Christ Cathedral.
And I remember the first time I heard him sing, and I remember being in the back. We were being in the back. I can't remember. I think we were in and out because my mom came and she was like, "Listen, we ain't staying all night because we'd love to be, in the presence of the music." And yeah. And so mom was like, "Listen, we're not staying all night now." And I remember when he got up and sung, and I was sitting there like, "Dude, who is that?"
Wow.
Like, who is that? I didn't know who he was yet. And then I started slowly but surely seeing him come to ambassadors, doing solos, doing songs. And I was like, man, that dude a beast. And then I got to know him as time goes by. And he's still consistent. He's still the same.
Still the same.
And
oil on him.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Also, he's a songwriter, producer.
Yes, I was gonna say, yeah.
Songwriter, producer.
And those are that's another individual that, when you think about people like that, you don't hear about them like that. And you should.
You should.
They should be, but God has gifted them, and it doesn't matter. They're still doing great work. So it doesn't even matter. But those are like one of those people I feel like that don't get the credit that they deserve as a psalmist. Even like I said, George as a musician, Bishop Pass. He's a bishop, right?
Bishop.
Okay, a bishop. I say that right. He's a bishop that's been a long time.
Right.
So he's a bishop now. So that's right, because he has a church over in High Point, right?
Yep, Village Life Cathedral.
Village Life Cathedral. I actually saw a commercial for it. When I saw it, I was like, okay, cool. I love it.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
He got it honestly.
Right.
Yeah, he got it honestly. But yeah, just growing up around, I remember when George, I'm gonna take back even further. I remember when I was in Charlotte. I remember George had a community choir in Charlotte in the early 90s.
Yep.
He was starting a community choir. I think it was a choir.
Right.
And I had an opportunity to sing on it, but I had gotten too far out there and I didn't show up. I wasn't where I needed to be. Just being very transparent about it. That's real. But I'm just saying that just to see people that you pass by along the way that is still going hard at it and still doing their thing.
Man, they
what I'm
still
saying? It's
grinding.
Beautiful. Yeah, man.
Grinding like hard. Mm-hmm. And that must have been the time when he was the minister of music at the park.
I think he was. That was early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yep. I was actually going to Johnson C. Smith for a little while. Things didn't work out. So I ended up at Central Piedmont Community College.
Right.
So I was at Central Piedmont Community College doing I want to say 91 and 92, I think it was, Ron. It might have been 91, end of 91.
Okay.
And I happened to run into George. I don't know where I was in Charlotte, but I ran into him. And he was like, Chris, I started a community choir here. You're welcome to come. And I never did. I never did get back with him.
I think that was during the time.
That was early 90s.
I think that was during the time. I hope I'm right. Y'all
Yeah.
let me know if I'm.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Kevin Bond, he was the minister of music. And Kevin Bond was down there with him.
Exactly. I think you're probably right.
And that was like
yeah. You know what? You're right. You're right.
You know how musicians talk.
Yeah.
Kevin Bond and George passed together.
Man, I forgot about him. That's right.
He was at the park.
That's right. That's right. That was a huge movement too.
That was huge. Ridiculous.
Huge, bro. Yes. It's good to talk to people though that know about these stories, right. that know about these inside stories about this though. You know what I'm saying?
George, he'll tell me anytime when during that period of time, artists was coming in like it wasn't nothing to have Donnie McClurkin or something down there because
not at all.
Kevin or him be working on something or whatever.
It's amazing that the connects that they were able to make though, right?
Yes.
So it also tells of their skill set and their professionalism too, though. A little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and who they were as men too. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we could talk about this all day long, Ron. So listen, Ron, who influenced you in music? What was your biggest influence? I think you said it in the beginning. Because we done went down memory lane now.
Man, I'm fine. But
who influenced you?
Influence first, like I said, the Hawkins.
Yeah.
Joel Smith, Walter, Edwin.
Yeah.
I can thank my dad for that. And also James Cleveland, those GMWA records.
I got you. That was the biggest ones. Yeah.
The biggest ones. And quartet music.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you, in my house, my daddy, I think my dad was in love with Tremaine Hawkins. He just gets some type of way.
Yeah.
When we had all of the records, Love Alive 1, Love Alive 2. So it wasn't nothing for me to go in the back room.
Sure, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Where that stereo was, the Play-Doh records, man.
Oh, man. Wasn't they the best?
It was the best, man.
The best.
And it was just getting down in, it was getting on down in, and I didn't know at the time it was developing me for something.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
It was developing me for something. Never thought in a million years that I would be doing this. Well, let me say this.
Sure, go ahead.
First of all, I'm a drummer.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, yeah.
I didn't supposed to make the transition from a drummer and being a choir director.
And you know what? And go ahead. Build on that.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get back to my influence.
No. Go ahead. You're fine.
Joel Smith.
Yeah.
I'm a Michael Jackson fan.
Okay. Got you.
Of course, I grew up in the 80s and in the 90s. So my all-time favorite influence is Mint Condition, Stokely, Chris Dave, those guys.
Yeah.
I studied those records backwards and forward.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm influenced by Jaco Pastore. He's a bass player.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
John Patitucci. And these are guys, those bass players are guys because I've always played with grade A bass players.
Hey, they keep their rhythm going, man.
Like Monty Robertson, Pastor Joseph Robertson.
Yeah.
Who, like a brother, we played together for years. He's pastoring now.
Okay, yes.
And
I always say bass players and drummers are speaking the same language. You guys speak a whole total language.
And B, we went on tour together.
Man, listen here.
And it's a lot of bass players.
It is. Don't get me wrong.
And I work with Nate Kelly, who rest his soul.
Yeah.
Was one of, like I said, I've always played with grade A.
Oh man.
Top tier bass players.
Yes.
And so those ones right there, Prince.
Man, yeah.
who I'm influenced by. Gospel keynotes.
Oh, yes, sir.
Willie Neal. I'm talking about old.
Oh,
I ain't
yeah.
talking about the
Nah,
new.
you're talking about you talking about yeah.
Commission without Marvin Sapp.
There you go.
When Fred Hammond was playing bass.
Yes, sir.
Those days.
Yeah, man.
Winans. I mean, I'm influenced by a lot of that stuff, and I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead.
And if there's this singer out there who I am just inspired by. His name is Bilal.
Oh yeah. Bilal, wow, boy.
Bilal, you know,
Yeah.
he always he always keep a hot band, and I like, bands like Ghost Notes.
Oh yeah.
Snarky Puppy.
Oh yeah. Do you like Incognito?
Incognito.
Bro, I'm a huge fan of Incognito. I'm a huge fan.
Bluey.
Yes.
Man, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on. Come on.
Man, I'm a huge Incognito fan, man. I really am.
Come on.
Let me tell you another band that I got familiar with through Rashad Jenkins. I think their name is Intertwine.
That was his band. Oh, those guys got all of the elements. All of the elements of who you just said.
Let me tell you, I actually heard some of their work, and man, I remember they were traveling a lot one time.
They were traveling and
touring quite a bit, man. It's another group that's another band.
Another band who I say I'm influenced by. I mean,
oh yeah.
Then you
can go on and on, really.
Yeah, and then locally here, who I'm influenced. He's one of my influence. Even though we same age, we pretty much grew up together and all this.
Yeah.
He playing for Spirit of Life.
Okay, yeah.
Rudy Brown, my mentor.
Look here, man. Look here,
our mentor,
bruh. Let me tell you something. That Negro Bishop. Excuse me,
James Ferguson.
I was going to say the wrong. I was going to say that brother can play some drums. You hear me? What? Man, I used to watch him in awe. He'd break a drumstick, and I don't know where he would get it from, and he'd be right back in pocket again. Just a beast with it.
And
I wonder if he still can play. I'm sure he can.
He does. I know he can still play.
I hadn't seen him play in years, man.
I think a couple of months ago he done a recording. And we talked. This is crazy. We talked. Man,
he a beast, man.
Last week.
Man, he's a beast.
We talked last week. He's one of my mentors.
Yes, man. He's a beast, bro. I don't think I've seen anybody play no drums like that.
James Ferguson III.
Yes, sir.
Rudy Brown.
Yes, sir. The good bishop.
The good bishop.
Man.
And
play some drums, bro.
And that was
Napa too. Napa's another one who I used to watch in awe. Very humble too.
Very humble.
Even when you tell Napa, boy, you played it. Oh, nah, man.
and this is the thing. This is the thing with those guys.
Rashad too, another one.
Exactly.
I mean that those three right there, man.
This is the thing I like. Me growing up in Reedsville and Winston,
pretty close.
These guys from Winston. These guys, because they were connected to David.
Oh yeah, man.
They was a little farther than I was.
I see. I get that.
But this is the thing where, the humbleness come in that they would sit down and share with you.
Oh yeah, man. They would share.
So all three of those guys, I can think.
Oh yeah.
Because they have shared some things. Me and Rashad did a recording session together. And it won't nothing for him to say, hey Ron, you're a little slow right here. You're whatever this. All right, bro, let's do it. And that's what it's all about, man.
I'll be honest with you. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I didn't lead a song I think it was probably like later on. I sung a song in a symphony. It was the first song I ever led, and I think it was by Richard Smallwood, which is another favorite of mine. They just celebrated.
Mine too.
Yeah,
72 years.
72 years. I watched that whole thing, which is not. I think I sung Holy Spirit. Oh, I sung that. I led that song as a young man. I led that song, and that was probably one of my favorite. That probably was one of my favorite songs that he gave me to sing, other than anything. Daryl Coley. I did a couple of things by Daryl Coley, which was pretty dope. That was another huge impact for me too. Daryl Coley, and I still love Daryl Coley today. I still listen to a lot of his music in tears, bro, because to meet him was amazing.
Chris, I think you took on do you remember, Chris? Do you remember Willie done a throwback concert and you came and sung He's Preparing Me?
Oh man, let me tell you something. I can't sing that song without crying.
We all were crying. Yeah, I got misty up here.
Yeah, I to this day, that's probably the song that hits me here in my heart today, because it's not just a song to me. It's a true testimony. When you look back over your life, when I feel like when you're given those songs, because I think Dave gave me that song first, and then Willie remembered how that song first of all, the song ministered to me first, right? Which is always the first assignment. Let it minister to you is what we were taught. Let that song minister to you. And I remember that song just being in the shower sometimes, just getting even praising God right there in the middle of the in the shower. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? During that season in my life, that's where I was. And man, that song still, even today, I still listen to Daryl Coley live. You remember that Daryl Coley live album? Well, he was singing God and God alone. Yes. Is here to take. Yes, sir.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jamal, see what I'm saying?
No, I just ain't.
You see what I'm saying?
Still got it.
Okay, that album, and early one morning, that song right there, that album,
man, let me
listen, man, the one where he had the Gumby,
right?
The real Gumby,
yes, sir,
with the white linen suit. Come on, baby.
Yes, sir.
That's the essence of Daryl Coley, bro.
Man,
whoo.
Let me tell you, guys like Coley,
yeah, man.
And there was one that I didn't mention, who is a great influence to me and to my mom, Thomas Whitfield.
Oh,
yes, sir.
That's gospel music right there, man.
Guys like
out of Cleveland, Cleveland, and but Whitfield. I mean, Andre Crouch. I mean, if we wouldn't want to go even back further.
Yeah,
Andre Crouch. But you know what I'm saying. Go ahead.
But Whitfield, wrote poetry.
Oh man, he did, bro.
We sung that.
I mean, my God, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, these conversations I feel like are good conversations that I think we need to talk about. We celebrate everything else, and nothing wrong with that. But I think gospel music should be celebrated too, especially if you grew up around it and you've been around it, then you understand the impact of it. Even from James Moore. Absolutely. We ain't gonna even talk. And I'm gonna tell you this right here. I'm talking about no teeth, James Moore. That one. 2 teeth out in the front, James Moore. That's the one.
Live
come on, man.
With Mississippi Mass Choir.
Yes. Mississippi Mass, that's right. The Williams brothers.
Joel Smith playing bass. Jonathan DeBose playing drums.
Yes.
The producer was David Blakely.
Yes, sir.
I don't know who the drummer was and the organist.
Hey, man, look.
To this very day, I don't know who the old guy was, but they were.
Hey, man, listen, man. I'm telling you, man. We had these conversations. I remember James Moore came to Ambassadors and Song.
Oh,
for the house. Damn.
I'm sure that's another one.
That
Myrna Summers.
Myrna Summers is another one. Yes, sir. I'm telling you, man, we could have these conversations, and we ain't gonna even talk about John P. Key and
John
Donald
Key.
Lawrence and the impact that they've had on gospel music and continue to have. I feel like John P. Key just took James Cleveland and ran with
He
it.
did.
And took it even a step further
He did.
because he was able to even go into the secular space, but it was gospel music. Though.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. Nothing against what Kirk has done.
Right.
But I'm talking about like the true authenticity of gospel music.
music.
John B. Key was able to still stay true to it.
I gotta give it to him.
I gotta give it to him,
Gotta
man.
give it to him.
And he branched out along with Fred Hammond too.
Right.
So they were able to cross over like that. But bro, crazy.
Man,
John P. Key, still to this day, I'm gonna tell you, if those albums ain't moving you, them first couple of
something wrong.
What? Something wrong, man.
Something wrong.
Come on.
Hello there, I'm Shantha Caldwell, and I'm here with your sticky notes. In this new year of 2024, I'm hoping that all of us can be focusing on what really matters, and you matter. So today I'm sharing a very personal sticky note that I choose to read daily, and I hope you enjoy it. Being me. I lay down my need to understand why things happen the way they do. I lay down my fears about others walking away and taking their love with them. I lay down my desire to prove my worth. I lay down my resistance to fully trust your thoughts, your ways, and your plans for me, God. I lay down being so consumed in an attempt to protect myself. I lay down my anger, unforgiveness, stubborn ways that bring me to build walls when I sense hints of rejection. I lay all those things down as I walk away. My soul feels safe, held, and truly free to finally be me. I'm Shantha Caldwell, and that is your sticky note. Stick it up.
I mean, this right here is it's so uplifting.
Yeah, man. It is.
And it takes me back. People like Bishop Ralph Donnie Gray.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Another genius.
I didn't even think about that. Yes.
Bishop Ralph Donnell Gray.
Man, I remember him coming to Ambassadors a lot too.
Him and look, when we closer there at the end.
Yeah.
He was a good friend of the family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I grew up.
Absolutely. I got you, Ron. Yeah.
He would talk about, well, we're going to do something. First name he'll call. Well, I'm going to call David Allen.
Right.
So they had a good, strong,
yeah, absolutely they did,
him and
man.
David. David would tell me, he said he would come down to Goldsboro.
Oh, yeah.
To United Holy Church.
Yeah, man.
Convocation, and Donnie have him in choir rehearsal all night, man.
Hey, listen, that's right. Listen, I'm gonna throw a name out there. I hope I say his last name right. Do you remember Rodney that played the organ?
Rodney.
God, I can't think of his
Edge.
name. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yo.
Oh, yeah.
Rodney Edge.
Pastor Janice Brown's nephew?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes, man. Yes. I just thought about him. I actually I visualized him playing. And that's what made me think about it, because I think he went on to play for Dennis in Denver, right?
Right. And he was Bishop Heath's.
There it is. He was Bishop Heath's
minister of music.
That's right.
And he went out to play with Dennis.
Yes. In Colorado. Am I right? In Denver?
Yes.
Man, that's another one.
Rodney Edge.
That's another one.
Produced a.
That's right.
He produced a spirit-led record.
Yes.
We'll talk about when we talk.
Oh, Lord. You know what, Ron? God almighty. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a great segue. Right. Let's talk about spirit-led. Spirit-led.
Spirit. Well, Rockingham County, Reedsville, Eden.
Yeah.
Madison, Stoneville. southern part of Virginia.
Yes, sir.
During the time we were growing up,
Mm-hmm.
that area back there, what I just mentioned, Rockingham County,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
was impact with music. I'm gonna mention,
man, y'all had some musicians up that way.
Musicians,
go ahead. Singers. Come on,
singers.
man. Yes, sir.
So the Bethel Male Chorus
Yes, sir.
was the blueprint.
Okay, I got you.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So when you had people like great influences like Jeffrey Davis, Jamal's dad,
yes, sir.
who
that is the coolest brother ever in life.
You call him right now. He
is, man.
Call him right now. He gonna say, "What's going on, black man? I'm still black."
Yes, sir.
I'm black, you know. But
yes, sir. Good people.
But let me tell you this, and this is the God honest truth.
Mm-hmm.
Rockingham County can thank, and we need to thank and pay homage to Jeffrey Davis for the attributes that he brought to the table.
Absolutely.
First of all, okay, he was this musician. Now I'm gonna talk about the minister side.
No, please.
In a minute.
Please.
He was the guy that made sure that all of the churches had music, whether he was going or he sent somebody.
Yeah.
During the time that the late 80s and the 90s when it was hot.
Yeah.
In the early 80s, he started community choirs when he one of the guys that started, I think, Faith Community. Thompson Davis Community Choir. That was another community choir.
Okay, got you.
By the time I got in high school, no, I was in junior high.
Okay, yeah.
There he was able to get all of the high schools together and form this youth choir called the Rockingham Gospel Choir. You got Reedsville High School, Moorhead High School, McMichael, and Rockingham.
Wow.
4 high schools in Rockingham County.
Okay, gotcha.
All these kids that was influenced by him came and joined this choir.
Wow.
Then you got these guys coming through that's running these revivals, like Apostle Duncan Spears was hot off the press. Came running these revivals. You got Jeffrey Davis on the organ.
Yeah.
Then a slew of us young drummers are waiting to play because
absolutely
they go during that time. It was a lot of shouting and all this.
So they wanted to play.
We wanted to play.
Yes, sir.
Jeffrey Davis was the man.
Yeah.
Still is the man.
Absolutely.
So he started spirit-led.
Got you.
He started spirit-led.
I got you. Was Rodney Edge playing for him then?
No. This was after.
Oh, understood. Okay.
When the early stages of spirit-led, how it came about, and age 13 is when I first got exposed to spirit-led. Back then it was called Spirit-Led Interdenominational Workshop Choir.
Gotcha.
So it was formed out of the citywide choir.
Yeah.
That the Minister Alliance had all of the ministers, they had an alliance.
Yeah.
So what they done every year in the spring they would have a revival. So they came up with so let's put a choir together.
Sure.
So who did they go to? Elder Jeffrey Davis.
That's right.
Put it together.
Yeah.
Like I said, he was a great influence. God gave him the gift, besides training the choir, being a musician, God also gave him the gift to bring people together.
Yeah. I can see that too.
Bring people together.
I can see that.
And everybody don't have that, man.
No.
Everybody don't have it. So Jay brought it together. Next thing you know, I think a couple of years after that, next thing you know, these rehearsals was going on, and out of nowhere, they took this album getting ready to be made.
Right.
And he had asked a local minister. He wasn't a minister then. He was a musician to come along aboard to
sure.
Join in with him.
Sure.
I think he bring a couple of people that he had or whatever, and next thing you know, they had spirit-led interdenominational choir.
I got you.
And I think, Jamal, the first recording was in July.
Yeah,
I think
Baptist.
At Zion Baptist on Piedmont Street in Reedsville.
Okay.
You talking about maybe 80 plus in the choir. And Jamal's sister, Jamaica, was the youngest one on the front row.
Which I didn't know she could play like that.
Man.
And sing.
Yes.
Yeah.
What they got in
everybody. Yeah, I was gonna say they got it on. Go ahead, bro.
So I experienced that recording. Then I was 13, and I was out back and forth outdoors playing with the little girls. Some of the little girls that later on became members.
Absolutely, I
became a musician.
Absolutely.
Of
the life of a musician.
Right.
God help us today.
Of spirit led. When I saw that happening right there, and the encouragement I got from Jeffrey Davis, I knew that's what I wanted to do. So a couple of years went by, and I became part of the band. I think I was on my way in, and Elder Jeffrey Davis was life was happening, so he had to put the ministry in the hands of somebody else.
I get it.
And
I understand that.
That person, he went on with it. We recorded. We traveled.
Oh man.
We produced some of the early records after Elder Jeffrey had went on to do other life things and do ministry.
Oh yeah, sure.
In other ways. So we had got to a stopping point.
Okay, gotcha.
Where it's time to do something else. It's time to bring in other musicians, other producers. Rodney Edge was one of the producers.
Gotcha.
That came in, and I call it the Black Album. It's the album that we done. It was live in Atlanta.
Okay, yeah.
To this very day, me and Pastor Monty Robertson been trying to find that particular record.
Can't find it on Spotify or anything, man.
It's not on none of that.
None of that.
That record.
Wow.
Now all of the other records we could find, but that particular record,
I wonder where it is. I wonder if they had it pulled.
We've been asking old choir members, y'all got this record or whatever. And that time, Chris, we were signed with Reverend Ariel White Faith Records out of Atlanta. That particular record label, that was the first record label that the Pay Sisters was on.
Gotcha.
Right. I don't think we were on there together. I think they had moved on.
Yeah.
But we were able to. We was on that label for a short span of time.
Yeah.
Going forward, then we were able to work with Cedric Thompson.
Yeah. Another heavy hitter.
Another industry
man.
Gospel industry producer.
Yeah. His
and
wife, Lejeune,
my brother and sister. I was able to.
You know what? And let me tell you something. Sorry to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off, but you know, I also remember when Lejeune, Isaac Curry, and Walter Johnson. Let me tell you something, which is someone who influenced me when I was singing on a regular. I actually took some vocal lessons from him, but I did go back. I'm not passionate about singing anymore either, Ronald. I'm not passionate about it anymore either. It's crazy, right?
That is great.
I'm not passionate like that about it, man. But boy, you catch me in the shower, I do your whole 16, I do your whole album. You hear me? But I'm not passionate about singing like that no more, man. But basically, I remember Isaac Curry and Lejeune. You remember they used to always be together.
Yes.
Dude, I remember when they used to come to Ambassadors to sing too. Another person I was going to talk about, I know we're talking about spirit led. We're going to go back to that. But I was just thinking about it as we were sitting here talking about it, because we were talking about so many people that did great things. Bishop Chris Brinson. Remember when? I know it, bro. I know it. Hold on. Listen, dude. I remember when I just remember the come up. I remember it. And I remember when he first signed with Malaco Records. And he went down to Florida. I think it was Florida. And he did that song with Luke. Remember, they did a gospel thing down there. Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. He's another one that doesn't get enough credit either.
No.
I believe in giving credit where credit is due. You know, the older you get, the more you understand the value that these folks that we're talking about, the impact that they had here in this area. Even if they wasn't from North Carolina, they impacted this area a lot, dude. And for those of us that remember watching Gospel Expo,
oh my God,
Nancy Caree, for those of us that remember that,
the
impact that had, the gospel music had, you know, those figureheads that we're talking about in North Carolina, man, they had a huge impact on this area in gospel music, man. And there's so many of them. Till we're not even talking about the people that branched off of them, you know, the branches that are those people that are extended, you know. And I'll keep it real with you, just like with David, there's a long list of us that are an extension of that tutelage, man. I don't care what you feel.
That's right.
Or what you want to say.
That's right.
Or what you think.
That's right.
There's no denying that, even from the engineers all the way down to engineers and on
branches.
Thank you, Jamal. There are tons of branches
for
those of us that are doing things now in this space that we like to call entertainment, whether it's gospel, whether it's theater, whether it's singing, whether it's jazz, whether it's R&B. There's an extension. There's something that you came from. That is why you do what you do, and you've been exposed to it. And you can't deny it. There's no denying it.
That's why.
Go ahead.
That's why it's important for me that I had to talk about
spirit led. Yeah, and I thank you for saying that too. So I didn't mean to get off cuff. We can go back to spirit led, because me and Jamal had kind of talked about it a little bit, and I remember I had talked to his father when they came up and. That was amazing meeting him, and just that whole moment of just meeting him alone, you could feel the realness.
Right.
I didn't have to say a word to him. It was just a handshake, a dap, a look into the eye, and you just knew. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
Ronald? You
yeah.
just know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought that up. And you know, man, we're gonna have to do this again
We're gonna
to
have
talk
to,
more about spirit led, but also have Jamal's father on, as well as yourself. And man,
Right.
we get some of the members from Spirit led.
man, that would be
Man, that would be,
bananas.
yeah. That's something that. Go ahead, Jamal.
No, I was just talking about some of the other musicians that was around. Now he's a bishop, but Bernard Florence was
Oh wow.
who we had anniversaries in Elm Grove that we would go to and sing, and yeah.
Wow.
And see that, and
That's amazing, man.
that's another thing, man. During those time, you know, anniversaries was
yeah,
the thing,
yeah, it was. You're right, man.
and it, you know, if people knew that Jeffrey Davis was going to be at their anniversary,
They was coming, right?
it was coming. they were.
Oh man, listen, I got to give a shout out to Tony Mitchell too, who can walk the dog on that organ, right?
Hey,
Okay, yeah.
now
Musician, DJ, like that brother does it all.
Jamaican,
Yeah,
but you know what? You know what?
and his wife can sing
As
and preach.
my sister.
Yes, sir, and can preach
Now,
and
look,
sing. And,
Now look,
and
I was
mate,
gonna-
that's another person that I want to have on too.
and look,
So I'm putting it out there now, Tony. I need you to come on, bro.
and I was going to talk. Look, when we was going to talk about what I was doing, of course we were going to talk about him.
Oh yeah, man. Because
We were gonna talk about him.
you know, there are a lot of folks out there. Man, like I said, we can talk about musicians. Warren was another one. Listen, man. Warren was such a renegade. I always say that he's a renegade when it comes
Man,
to playing
Warren-
that Hammond, right? Because boy, he
Warren
would
Newkirk.
upset some folk. You hear me? When he get on that organ, bro.
Warren is a problem.
Yes, sir. He's a problem.
And you know what? Willie had Warren and Tony.
He
playing.
sure did. He sure did.
It
He
was
sure did, man.
bananas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. You know, so to be around all of those great musicians and for us just to have this conversation, Ronald, this is another segue to say, hey man, you know, you've been around it, you've been exposed to it, and you started your own community choir as well.
Exactly.
So let's talk about that and talk about your album. Because I think you had like 2 recordings, didn't you, Ron?
It's 2 singles.
It's 2 singles. Okay,
And-
yeah. Mhm. So if you, man, take all the time you need, man, to talk about how that began with you. Well, we kind of talked about it. We know why now,
right.
but you had the community choir. What has that been like, having a community choir?
It is joy and pain.
I love that. Yeah.
It is joy and pain.
Yeah.
2016.
Mm.
It was a dead spot in our area.
Yeah.
I was playing for Willie.
Yeah.
But I was always out here in Winston area, Triad,
I understand what
and
you're saying.
beyond.
And beyond. I understand that.
Something
Mhm.
was it was laid on my heart. It was laid on my heart. Hey, we need to do something back in Rockingham County.
Rockingham County. Mm.
I went to Willie and talked to Willie about it.
Now, see that part right there. See, now, listen, for you to do that, that took a great deal of humility. That said a lot about you when you went to go talk to him about that before you decided that you was going to do that. And it made sense. It made sense. But go ahead.
I talked to Willie about it, and I'm gonna be honest.
Mhm.
I couldn't have talked to certain people about it
No.
because I'm gonna say this much. I wouldn't have got the encouragement, the support, and love
Mm.
that I got from Willie James Mason when I talked to him about. And this is what I said. I said,
Dude, that's who he is. But go ahead.
can't beat him with a stick.
That's who he is, man.
And so
Never changes.
when I'm gonna go back to this.
Okay, go ahead.
There was a couple of situations back in Rockingham County, and there's a name that I'm going to mention.
Yeah.
His name is Reggie Morrison,
Mm.
which is a good friend and brother of Jamal and myself.
Okay.
I don't know if you met Reggie yet.
I don't think I have.
No,
Reggie,
Have I met him yet?
no, you have.
Okay. Okay.
a great songwriter, a great singer
We got to have him on then.
and musician. He used to sing in Spirit Led, and he started a youth choir. Jamal was a part of. I mean, I play for him too.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think to this very day, some of the pain and disappointments that he probably did with, and he probably moved on. This is just my theory, and I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
is when he started that choir, he didn't get the support from certain ones. I was fortunate. And you know what? When you connected to people, and when God give you something to do, lay on your heart to do, and you go to your brother, big sister who you connected to, it's important how you handle them.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. I agree. I
was fortunate. I went to Willie. I said, Willie, our area don't have anything. This is just put on my heart to start a community choir.
Yeah.
And I got love, support. Hey, what you gonna do? How you gonna do it? And I said, Willie, I'm gonna do this. And I want us to always communicate with scheduling. If I'm a part of Friends first. If Friends got something and we gotta, I fall back.
Yeah.
We have done that for 7, 8. It'll be 8 years this year.
Wow.
For my choir.
Wow.
We have done that.
Wow.
First of all, we share the same musical director, which is Tony Mitchell.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Tony is Friends' musical director, and he's mine.
Got you. Yeah, I love it.
And the thing is, Chris, I said once and I say it again. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten what I got from Willie.
Nah.
If I would have talked with somebody else who I was connected to,
I believe
and
that.
doing ministry with. I don't know what the problem is because of that. That's on them.
I got you. Yeah.
And now that I look back, God orchestrates things that you don't understand, because here I am in my human self saying, no, man, he or she's supposed to support and love me and encourage me to do this as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't grow up with Willie.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
I do. I see where you're
Even
going
though
with it.
that's fam.
That's family.
That's family. That's family to me. Because I've been with Willie 12, 13, 14 years.
Wow, it's been that long, Ron.
Yeah. Wow. That's family. But what I'm saying is, but in my beginning, I didn't come up with Willie.
Right.
I came up with these, the ones Spirit Led and all of them.
Yeah.
So to go to them and say, hey, this is what the Lord put on my heart to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got what Willie Mason gave.
You know, Willie real like that though.
He
that's a real cat, man. He's just genuine. That's why I say I don't care what it is. He's the same all the time.
He's the same all the time.
He's the same. That's all I can say.
So with the name of the choir is Ronald Thornton and the Sound of Music Chorale.
Yeah.
And the reason why the name is Sound of Music Chorale, because I love musicals. and the movie Sound of Music, I didn't want to be the voices of.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I didn't want to be anointed such and such.
I got you. Yeah.
I didn't want to be. No, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Sound of Music Chorale, because I want my choir, and I'm training my choir to be very versatile. So if we do get a invitation to do something in the theater, we can go there.
You can go there. Yeah.
I was introduced to theater through my cousin George passed.
Yeah.
Doing some of the I think we did Mahalia Jackson or whatever
Okay,
together. And
I love
all
that
this.
space. I love the theater space. It's
so
amazing.
I've been
Go ahead.
exposed to that as well.
Yeah.
So I didn't want my choir to be one dimensional.
Mm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to record. I wrote a song in the pandemic called Great Place, which you can look at it on Spotify.
Yeah.
iTunes. It's on all of the digital platforms.
Yeah.
We did that, and it's been played across the nation.
Oh, I love it, man.
Radio stations.
I love it, man. Yeah.
Radio stations here and abroad.
Okay. Yes.
We thank the Lord for DJs. We thank the Lord. We thank God for DJs.
Yeah, you need them.
Yeah, you need them.
You need them.
So the Lord bless us. I wrote that song. My first song that I wrote, I did write, was in 2003, and it was recorded with Spirit Led. But I took that song, I renamed it, and it got chosen this past gospel music workshop. I was able to go and teach it for the National Mass Choir.
Oh man, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. And a lot of great things have came out of that. We released also another song which Tony's wife, my sister, Elder Shakina Mitchell, she led this tune, and there's another name that we didn't mention. We go mention right now who wrote the song. Yeah, Corey Williams. Corey Williams, my big brother. He's he's a songwriter for Edwin Hawkins. Songwriter for Edwin Hawkins. He did the I love Manpower albums.
Oh, that's a great album too.
I think he wrote songs for Michael Stampley. Okay, and he wrote a lot of songs. So I talked with big brother Corey, and I said, "Hey man, that's a song I want to record." Yeah. But Edwin Hawkins and the Music and Art Seminar recorded that song first, called "He's Mine."
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah.
And we were able to record that song again, and Elder Shakina Mitchell. She led it. Yeah. And she also got a single out now.
Does she really?
Yeah. She has a single out now.
What's the single? Go ahead. You can plug it. It's fine.
What's the name of the song? I Love the Lord.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, they can get on Spotify, Apple Music.
Spotify is on all digital platforms.
Okay, I love it.
So we're proud of her.
Absolutely.
And, she sings with friends, but she also is a part of the Sound Music Chorale as well.
Oh man, I love that.
So we all been working hard. I love my choir.
Yeah,
but my choir get on my nerves. I love my choir, but they get on my nerves, and I wouldn't be because. Sometimes the level of passion, the energy don't meet. Especially in rehearsals and stuff. You want to throw shoes.
Yes, sir.
And you want to put your hand over the mic and say some words and all that. But I love them. But I tell you what. They work hard. We were able to sing at the Gospel Music Workshop this past.
Oh man, congratulations, man! Congratulations, bro.
So we the Lord is blessing. We coming up on 8 years.
Yeah.
We don't know what this year is going to hold.
Yeah.
I'm submitting another song to GMWA. It's going to be in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh man, awesome, man. Awesome.
I also have to give a shout out.
Yeah, go ahead.
To my chapter, the North Carolina Western chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop, who our chair is Gary Blaylock.
Okay. All right.
I have to.
Yes, sir.
I have to.
Go ahead, brother. I'm with you.
The Bishop Ricky Hayes Mass Choir.
Okay. Yeah.
Those guys have been wonderful to me, along with David Allen. Yeah. With his tutelage of how they know about GMWA.
Oh man.
I just look, having those records.
Yeah. Man.
I would have never thought that. Yeah, I was going to be that deep or that part, part of it.
Oh yeah, man.
So I want to say thank you to these guys, and
that's right, man.
We're going to keep this year is number 8 for us. The number 8 is mean new beginnings.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're looking for God to increase the oil on us.
Yeah.
And amen.
Amen. We believe in it for you.
Yes, sir.
We believe in it for you, man. And we look forward to you doing some amazing things within gospel music, and even to broaden and stretch it even further, because gospel music has always been that way. It always peaks and goes beyond the boundaries that a lot of us are surprised that it, the way that it did, and it's pretty nice to see. And it's great to have a conversation about gospel music and the impact of individuals, how it has impacted individuals in this area in North Carolina. And then sometimes you don't realize how big gospel music is either. Like, it's huge.
It's huge.
Man. It's huge, man.
It's bigger than life, man.
It really is, man. And the more you're surrounded around it, and if you've been surrounded around it, if you've been around in the culture of it, then you grow up, and then you're able to look back and be like, wow, look at where gospel music is today. A few people with that. I did Dion, who has a great community choir too. I can't think Dion's last name.
Dion Owens.
Oh,
he's in our chapter. That's a big brother.
Yeah,
that's a big brother.
Dion Owens, who has an amazing community choir as well. Mr. Goldsmith, who does
another brother,
Mr. Goldsmith,
Jerry Sadler.
Yeah, man. So I mean, we could go on and on.
Chris Irvin.
Yes,
Mitchell
man.
Johnson.
Yes. There's so many names.
Jonathan Parker Ashley.
Yeah, like there's so many different names. When you think about it, when you think about individuals that you've been around, Ronald, and I mean, you got Terry, who can play the heck out of some drums.
Oh, Terry Johnson.
Yes, sir. Terry Johnson.
Yeah, man.
Chris Thomas can play some drums. Like
those are my brothers.
Man, listen.
Those are my brothers.
You don't hear about it, but Carlos.
Yes.
That dude right there. Sing drums,
can
play
produce,
bass, produce,
do it all. Engineer.
You just wouldn't even know he did all that. You really wouldn't. But we could go on and Roderick Carter.
Yes.
Rod
Carter. Yeah.
I mean, like there's so many hidden gems out there. Charles Harris, Jonique
DeBose.
I mean, like I grew up around these people, man. So
Charles Harris.
Let me tell you something, man.
Yo,
listen, dude. I remember watching Charles go through the fire, and when I say go through the fire, if you were an engineer under Bishop Patterson,
oh my God,
in
man,
the
I
early
heard the stories
in the 80s and the 90s,
I heard the story,
bro. You had to endure, but when you got done, when you finished your assignment,
look at Charles now.
Now that's what I say. Even the Boo Nillies, the Tory Leaks.
Yeah.
I mean, so like we could go on and on. If you had to run sound at Ambassadors and during the early 90s and 80s, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, hey, God bless you. God bless you. I didn't want that hat. I didn't want that hat because if you saw Bishop had a microphone on the side of his, on the chair that he sat in, he had a microphone.
Oh Lord.
And bro, he be and if it wasn't right, if he came up off that, if he came out that pulpit, oh man,
things change.
Yes, sir. Things change real quickly.
Hey man, but
again,
look at Charles.
Because of that,
right?
That stern and that toughness. Look at where those guys are now.
I mean, Charles,
they got their own music companies, and Charles went
everywhere.
Donald Long, the whole world.
Yes,
he traveled the world. I remember when he was doing it for Daryl Coley. Yeah, he did it for Daryl Coley. He did it for Donald Lawrence. I want to say he did it for John P. Key too.
John Key
for a little while.
Did John Key a little bit.
But yeah, man. So Those are the people sometimes you don't hear about.
Don't hear about.
You don't hear about it, but man, they've traveled the world in gospel music because of, again, being under that tutelage and getting the exposure to see this. It was just in your DNA to do it.
Well, I think that's what gospel.
I think that's what gospel music is too.
It's about. Today I could be wrong.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to be, I think
you all right, man.
I think today, a lot of the gospel artists, the younger ones, they don't have it or not experiencing it the same way that we did.
It was different.
I think it's more now to them is a genre. It was more than a genre. Even though it was a genre.
Oh, it was more than that to us.
But it was more than a genre to us.
It was a lifestyle.
You
lived what you were singing about.
Yeah.
It was.
And that doesn't mean you have to be perfect.
No, not at all. Let me say that. Not at all.
No.
And I think that's what a lot of folks wrestle with, trying to live a perfected life and still do gospel music.
Right.
You'll never be perfect, though.
No, you'll never be perfect.
Ain't but one perfect person, man.
And we love to come together.
And we love to come together.
Right. Back then, we loved to come together.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We did. We loved to be around each other, laugh. I think the fellowship probably was after choir rehearsal.
Oh, yeah, man.
The laughing.
That was the cherry on top.
That was the cherry on top. We going to dinner.
But a lot of now introverts, man.
Nah, now you know you do your thing and you go home. Do your thing and you go home. But let me tell you, Ronald, this has been a conversation that I have totally enjoyed. This conversation is taking me back down memory lane to my youth and growing up around gospel music and being around it. I didn't realize. I guess you don't realize what you've been exposed to sometimes until you actually talk about it. You know what I mean? Until you actually really have a conversation with people who share the same passion that you have. I'm not in it anymore, but I get it.
Right.
I understand it.
But it's in you.
Yeah, it's in me now.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. And let me tell you, this right here has been refreshing to me.
Oh, good, man.
Because I'm gonna tell you the reason why.
Yeah.
Like I said, we was talking earlier.
Yeah.
The last year, 23.
Yeah.
I dealt with just all health challenges. So that, besides physically, it hit me mentally, emotionally. So there was a lot of times where I was getting ready to email my resignation to Sound of Music Chorale. Hey, I don't want to do this no more.
Wow, Ron.
I don't want to, I don't want to deal with the different personalities, whether it's good or bad, because that's what comes along with having a community group.
Yeah.
And you have to be built. You have to have a bill for it.
Yeah, you do. Mm-hmm.
And that bill, it helps you to prepare yourself for what you're destined to be.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with all sorts of people, because it's a big picture. And I tell my choir members that, Sound of Music Chorale is not going to always be here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But right now, it's an automobile.
Yeah.
It's an automobile because God wants us and He's training us. He's preparing us.
Yes, sir.
He's preparing us.
Yeah.
So, it was plenty of times from damaged kidneys at the beginning of around about this time of the year last year. Doctor said, "Hey, you got damaged kidneys from having COVID."
Yeah.
In 22. Like, yo, man, have to deal with that. Then in October, dying.
Yeah.
For 7 seconds. No heartbeat. No pulse. Then in December, this past December, got a call. Hey, we're looking at blood work. Well, thyroid is out of whack.
Man, you don't even
come to find out, got a lump on my thyroid. But in the same token, when he got a biopsy done, no cancer. But I found out that it runs in our family.
Yeah.
But God protected me.
Yeah, he did.
He protected me.
Yeah.
So this is refreshing to me. This have lifted me to grind a little harder, because let me tell you, I was like, man, I don't want to do this no more. I don't feel like it. But having this conversation, talking, bringing out some truths about some things,
man,
that needed to be said,
understood,
on this type of platform.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
To get homage to people like Jeffrey Davis, David Allen,
man,
Corey Williams, Bishop George Pass,
man,
the list goes on.
The list goes on and on.
Talking about encouraging brothers like, who we talked about, who we all have influenced.
Oh, we all have. We all have.
You,
yes.
Because I tell you, man, when I heard you sing, man, I'm like, yo, man, I'm supposed to be welling up like this.
Yeah.
So this, I feel a push, another push.
Yeah. I that's awesome. I always tell Jamal, when we created this platform, it was for that purpose.
Absolutely.
I have some different conversations sometimes, but there is a God that's on the inside of me that's a governor that won't let me go but so far. And I thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I really could push the limit, because my personality would allow me to.
Right.
But God will tell me no.
Right.
And I have to respect the ultimate creator that's over my life.
Right.
And I'm not perfect, not claiming to be, don't profess to be all of that as it pertains to being like this perfect individual. But I do have one thing we talked about earlier, was having a relationship with God.
That's it.
And as long as you still got conviction, as long as you still feel it in your heart, then there's a place where you can get on your knees and say, Father, please forgive me.
That's right.
For I've sinned against you and only you, just as David did.
That's right.
So I live that way. And I keep it moving, Ron. And so, man, I thank you for coming on. I'm glad.
Thank you for having me.
Man, you're very welcome, man. And you're going to come back again.
Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, just like
Absolutely.
I told Callens, you're going to come back again, just like I told Dr. Clark and anybody else that's come on, because I want to have even more conversations. We can go in depth about a lot of different things that I think sometimes that me and we should have those conversations and not be afraid to have those conversations. So we're going to continue to build the network. And then once we build the network, we get some folks back in here so we can have some real conversations, some meaningful conversations, just like this one. This was a very good conversation.
Oh, man. Great.
To give homage to those that are in North Carolina, local, whatever you want to call them. They have impacted North Carolina in the gospel music. And just period. And the arts, period. You know what I'm saying? So it's awesome. In closing, Ronald, we always like to give people an opportunity to say something to someone that could help them become better. And so I'll give you that opportunity, whatever you like to say to encourage someone to keep going. Maybe they're having a hard time in their life. Maybe it's something that you can say that could uplift them. And then after that, man, if you would tell the folks how they can follow you and how they can get your music. Man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, what I would like to say to end this segment is stay true to God. If you stay true to God, that makes you free. And that means you're true to yourself. That's what I find myself doing as I get older. Staying true to God, that will make you free. And if you're free, you're going to be true to yourself. A lot of things going to come. Life is going to life.
Yes.
Life is going to life. But if you stay true to God, it will free you to be true to yourself. And all of the digital platforms, you can go and find Great Place, He's Mine, on every digital platform, Spotify, iTunes, whatever's out there. You can go and find it. Please support me. Please support the local guy.
Please,
y'all support him. And look, those who know the words of prayer, I'm old school.
it's all right, man. You all right, man?
I'm
you
sorry.
Okay?
Pray for me.
Yeah.
I'm in this journey now of being more healthier. So we're always on the journey.
Yeah.
And we have to be healthy, and we can ask God all we want, but there are things that we must do for him to enhance what for us.
Yeah.
So may God bless each one of you all. Chris,
right on, bro.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome, brother.
Jamal, thank you.
Yeah.
And God bless this podcast.
Oh, man.
It's well needed.
Man. We receive it, man. Thank you so much for that too, Ronald. Listen, I hope that something was said today that could help you become a better you. Listen, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast. Remember, you can like and subscribe to our page. Please go over and like and subscribe to our page at the Ross Cloud Podcast 7722. You also can check us out at the Mix Network Ross Cloud Podcast Collab page. Make sure you go and like and subscribe to both of those pages. We really would appreciate it. Listen, help us get to 100 subscribers.
Yeah,
we have been diligently working at it. Please like and subscribe to our page and help us out if you'd like to see more of this content that we're producing as we continue to grow and get better. We thank you. Hey, listen, I am Christopher Ross. This is the Ross Cloud Podcast. Make it a great day and keep being great. Peace.